Welcome to the Davenport Coaches Show, coming to you live from Uccello's in Caledonia. We'll be talking Davenport sports for the next half hour, probably a little bit more. We've got a jam-packed lineup today. We're going to be talking Davenport baseball, men's basketball, women's basketball. We've got players from both basketball teams here as well as coaches. We're going to have a great time tonight, and we appreciate the great folks here at Uccello's for all these. As we said, we're going to start with baseball. The head baseball coach of your Davenport Panthers, Kevin Tidy, 15th year in the program, 12th year as a head coach. You've been here, Coach, since day one when the program started as an assistant coach. What's that feel? It's got to be a source of pride for you to know you've been here right from the ground up.
One, it tells me I'm getting old. But, it's been special. I mean, to go from where we were to what we are now as far as facilities and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty amazing to be a part of.
Yeah, you mentioned the facilities, the great Farmers Insurance Athletic Complex and that great stadium you've got there and how well that's assisted you. And you've certainly done your part, you and your teams, back-to-back GLIAC regular season championships. That has to be satisfying.
Yeah, it was great. Those 2 years were a great run. A little sour about the way it ended last year and making us hungry for the 24 season for sure.
Let's take you back to 2017-18 when you're making the transition from NAIA to D2. Every coach had a big adjustment. You'd been in the NAIA. How big of a change was it for you and your program?
I feel like we're recruiting the same type of baseball players. I feel like we're getting a little higher level student out of the high school. Better grades, and that part's been good. But, I feel like the recruiting's been very similar.
What is your recruiting base primarily? I know you've got a lot of local kids, but you get some also from other parts of the Midwest. What's the philosophy as far as where's your...
I think the main philosophy is we want to get the best players we can find in the area for sure first, and keep them around home. And, but we're out and into the Canada stuff. We've got Chicago area. I think the majority of our stuff's in the Midwest, but yeah, we'll pull a few here and there from farther away. Next
week, you take off on your annual 1 month trip down to Missouri, Illinois, and then Florida. But what's weird about it, and great for your program, with this fluke weather we're having right now, and in the next week it's going to get even better, you're playing outside already.
Oh, it's been huge. We're going to end up getting 5 inter-squads in over the 10-day span here, which, the last couple of years, we're doing all that traveling and playing 22 straight road games without one practice outside. So being able to get some kinks out, playing against ourselves has been great for us.
Yeah, you're going to be the next 2 days when you're playing outside. You're going to be better in some places in Florida where you're heading in a few weeks.
Well, it's probably going to be better weather than we're going to have the first month here. But yeah, we're going to get a game in tomorrow and a game in Friday. Get all of our pitchers out.
Let's talk about that trip again. You take off next week. First of all, Missouri and Illinois, where you play 12 games before you head down to Florida, 4 games. What do you look for? How much are you trying to win games, and how much are you trying to get your roster set for when you get back and start GLIAC play?
I think it's a mix. We're 100% trying to win games because the way it works for us in the Division II is, when the end of season comes, they're going to look at those records in our region, and those wins are huge. So we've talked to our guys about, really focusing on a better start this year. But at the same time, there's still some question marks. So we're trying to make some decisions on who's going to be where and figure that out. When you look at the starting lineup each year that you start with, and then what you're going with halfway through the season, it's amazing how different it is.
You mentioned the lineup. Coach Kevin Tidy joining us from the baseball coaches. They get ready next week, heading down for that 1 month trip to Missouri, Illinois, and Florida, and then back up to Ohio on the way back up before they get ready. Let's talk about some of the key players. I know we don't have time to touch on all of them, but some of the key players you've got, coming back from last year.
Well, I think our pitching is strong and way deeper than it's been in the past. And we're bringing back, Fisher, Schwartz, McKinstry was the, freshman pitcher of the year last year in the league. Added Jared Birkenpass from Grand Rapids Community College, was the first team All-American. And then Isaac Van Dyke, he had an elbow injury last year and was probably our best pitcher when he got hurt. He was throwing really well.
Yeah, Sparky mentioned him. You stole him from Sparky. The football.
I guess I owe him one.
He thinks you do. But no, Isaac Van Dyke, a terrific athlete, and we're just glad we have him at Davenport.
Yeah, he really made a huge jump for us last year, and then he had the UCL injury, and that was sad. But hey, with the new surgery they have, 6-month return to play or whatever, he's actually been up to the upper 80s already again, and getting really close to being able to throw.
That's amazing that they can get back out there that quickly and doing it as well. Give us a player maybe. You mentioned a couple of the stalwarts coming back. Give us one or two players that you thought made the biggest jump during the season, from the start of last year to the end of the year. They were really jumping up in their performance.
I would say two guys that have jumped up that were on the team last year. Pitching-wise, Braden Flanders. He didn't pitch any at all for us last year. His velocity's jumped up significantly and has a really good slider. Has been really good. Dalton Vanderart didn't pitch for us at all last year. Was debating on even coming back and worked his butt off all summer. He's been doing really well from a pitching side. I would say position player-wise, Anthony Aloisio. He's a fifth at-bats here and there. Probably game one's going to start for us at first base, so hopefully he can play at a high level and keep that spot, So, those are kind of some key ones that I think that have really stepped up and kept grinding.
Kevin, how often does it happen where a player comes back? You're playing. What do you do in the summer? How often you're not able to play?
We're not playing, but we've done a really good job of placing our guys, so a lot of our guys play summer baseball. Yeah.
So how often does it happen by the time they come back in the fall? You think of this guy and thinking, boy, did he ever raise his game? How often does it happen in one summer where you expected it coming back and they far exceed that?
I would actually say the guys that play competitive baseball in the summer and really get after in the summer are the ones that make the hugest jump. And, all those guys I just talked about all played. Anthony Aloisio didn't play for a couple summers, and then this is the first summer he played in the Northwoods League down in Battle Creek, and it was the biggest stride he's made, and I think it was a huge move for him.
Well, we have to go back to football for a moment here, because you're not only an outstanding baseball coach with a great staff, but you're also a proud papa.
Yeah.
You've got 4 kids. You got 2 of your triplets are here, scarfing down some Uccello's food right now.
Yeah, they heard free food. Of course, they're here. Yeah.
But your oldest son, Cade.
Yep.
He just signed with Davenport to play football for Sparky McEwen. Sparky talked about him in that video, as we mentioned, like that. Just talk about how, as a father, how you were involved in that decision of where he was going to go, and how different it was for you trying to separate yourself as a staff member at Davenport.
I tried to pretty much stay out of it for the most part and let Cade deal with it. He's grown into a very responsible kid, so I know he was communicating a lot with Coach Russell, who's the O-line coach, and Sparky, and just trying to obviously get some discounts as a coach here, But so I was hoping this is where he would go, but he enjoyed the process, and we kind of left it up to him and all the communicating and all that kind of stuff.
All right, one final thing, Kevin, before you go on this Ohio-Florida trip, into that. You run into weather. You know that's going to happen. You're going to have games that get washed out or frozen out, whatever. What do you guys do when you can't play or practice outside on this next month or so? When you're away from home, yeah.
We talked to the guys about handling that kind of stuff, because obviously in the Midwest you're going to deal with it, and you got to control what you can control, and the teams that handle that the best are the ones that are going to have success. But yeah, it's tough when you're on the road and you're in a hotel and all of a sudden you get a bad weather day, and what are you going to do? So find ways to do some things team chemistry wise, or scouting reports, all that kind of stuff.
Kevin, you've done a great job, and we hope to keep you here forever. Great job. Best of luck to you in the baseball program starting next week when you head down south. Okay.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back and talk some basketball. Stay with us. The Davenport Coaches Show continues from Uccello's of Caledonia. And we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccello's of Caledonia. Enjoyed talking baseball with Coach Kevin Tidy. We're going to switch gears and get into the basketball mode, as we're going to talk women's basketball. Head coach Shonda Sanders joins us right now. And Coach, I'm required by law to bring up the last game. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, you took your lumps against the national powerhouse Grand Valley State, which almost every team that plays them does that as well. How do you approach that, and how do you deal with that when you know that your team could maybe play its best game and it might not be enough for a win against this program like that?
It was just one of them things where if we play our best and we lose, then we're just like, all right, they just was a better team that night. But when you play like how we came out, we didn't even play our best, and we lost like that. I can't use that where they was just a better team, because you don't even know they were the better team because we didn't even play our best. So yeah, if we played our best, we did everything we could do, and then we lost. It's just one of them things like, hey, that's just like teams playing UConn. Like, that's just the better team right now. Like, don't let that lose. Don't hang your head on that.
You played much better at their place, actually.
Yes, we played very good, I felt, at their place. It was more of like just mishaps and turnovers and things, but Saturday we just didn't come out with that same energy.
We've seen in the last couple weeks some girls who weren't getting much playing time. You're starting to blend them into the mix. Nevaeh Williams, Jada McCree, and Nevaeh Galloway, they're starting to get some more minutes now.
Yeah, and that's just because two of them are coming back. Nevaeh Williams tore her ACL last year. So she's coming back from that recovery, and I think now she's finally starting to get in that groove she was getting in when she was a freshman last year, before she got injured. And then also tall Nevaeh Galloway, she had knee surgery over the offseason, as well as she wasn't eligible to play till December. So I think that she's starting to finally get into her groove with the team and starting to fill in with them. And then Jada, she's a freshman, so she just was waiting till her number get called and just kept growing every day as a player and just earned the minutes that she's getting.
She's got a beautiful three-point shot.
Yeah, she has a beautiful three-point shot. And I wish she'll just be more, I want her to be more confident and look to shoot more. And that's what she's been working on. And that's why it's not just her offense, but she's just being more confident overall with why she's getting minutes now.
Tomorrow we go to Saginaw, take on Saginaw Valley. What have you seen in the tape that they did well and that you did not do well that you need to improve on from when they beat you the first time?
One thing, first time that we watched, we didn't execute our game plan at all. Defensively, we kind of just went out, I feel like just no energy, just not sticking with the game plan. And then the times that they saw in film when we did, we got what we wanted. But I just feel like they just came out and just was more of a dog and just tougher in certain situations than us. We kind of like shied away.
All right. Finally, Coach, you brought Ellie Toney with us tonight. We're going to visit with her next. Tell us about what you saw in Ellie when you were recruiting her, and what she means to your program right now, even though she's just a sophomore.
So, funny story with Ellie. Ellie was already signed when I got the job here.
Okay.
But when I was at my previous school at Saginaw as assistant, we were recruiting Ellie and offered her. And actually, the day Ellie had her visit on campus, I went to labor right after her visit with my son. So we always laugh because we always joke about I used to drive the golf carts and she was on it, and just how she used to joke, and she was like, "Coach, it's because of the golf cart where you went in labor." But just watching, then just recruiting her, she was a post player that could shoot threes. She could stretch the floor. She's like a post player in a guard body, a guard in a post body kind of. So she could stretch the floor so much because she can go on the block and battle with the bigs. But then she also could come on the outside and she could shoot. She could take the bigs off the dribble. And then if she has a smaller player on them, she could take them in the post. So she's kind of a triple threat on the offensive end. And just with Ellie, we just keep telling her to say, like, hey, we could get more rebounds out of you. You're a smart player. Look and get more rebounds. So that's what more we want to get out of her.
You didn't tell her that if you commit to it, you name the baby after her, didn't
No. So we just joked and was like, it was meant to be because I got the job here, and then she was committed here. So we was like, hey, it was meant to be. So that's our little funny story.
All right, Coach, good luck tomorrow and Saturday, and we'll visit with you next week, I'm sure.
All right, thank you.
All right, Coach Shonda Sanders will take a break, and we'll come back with Ellie Toney, sophomore on the women's basketball team, as we continue with the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccellos in Caledonia. Stay with us. We roll on with the Davenport Coaches Show for Utellos in Caledonia. Stop out there anytime. They've got about 12 large screens here in front of us, and then another 8 or 10 bigger ones on the other end there. So it's all your sports here. Great food, as you heard me say before. Great service. Utellos of Caledonia, your place for a great thing on the south side of town, wherever you are. Our next guest from the women's basketball team, sophomore Ellie Toney from Corona High School in Corona, Michigan. And Ellie, we thank you for joining us here. Let's first start with your nursing major. And we talked with Lily a few weeks ago about the challenges of that, because you have to miss some practices, don't you, with that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so on Wednesdays we completely miss practice, and then Thursdays we go to shoot around for about a half an hour, but we just walk through what we need to get through, and then we go to class, and then we come back for the games, and if they're away games we leave early on Thursdays from class. So Wednesdays and Thursdays are busy for sure.
Now, when we go out of town and leave on a Wednesday, are you able? You don't have to miss the game, right?
No, we're going to miss class.
All right, great. As a nursing major, do you go year-round or do you get the summers off?
We get the summers off.
Good.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to slack off a little bit there with all that, because it's a really high academic challenge of being a nursing major, we know.
Yeah.
You're averaging 8.5 points, 5.5 rebounds. I want you to assess your...
I think I'm improving. The beginning of the season, I think I was down a little bit. My shooting percentage wasn't as high as I would like it to be. But I got in the gym and I just focused on game-like shots, and I think it's improving as we get into conference play.
I can tell you this, because I called the game up in Lake State. You hit the biggest three of the season for this team so far. And it came after you guys had been 0 for 11 for the game.
Yeah.
And you hit one with about a minute and a half to go, or maybe less than that. How did you have the confidence to take that when it looked like that day nothing was going to go down from outside for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, my teammates, they always, they just keep telling us to shoot. If we're open, they believe in us to make shots, even if we're 0 for whatever. But they just keep telling us to shoot, and I was confident with it, and it just went in.
You were the all-time leading scorer at Corona High School, all-conference, all-state. I want you to think back to your days, whether it's in high school or maybe earlier than that, a particular coach that maybe really inspired you to decide, this isn't just something to play, I want to get serious about this. Was there a coach in your past that did that?
Yeah, my AAU coach, his name's Rob Rustifer. I played for the Mystics, and I started playing there in 5th grade. And that's when I met him, and he believed in me since 5th grade that I could have played at the next level. So my whole high school career and everything, he was who I was with for recruiting, and he helped me with all the individual workouts and everything like that. He just was there for me the whole time.
Coach Sanders was telling us about how she was recruiting you when she was at Saginaw Valley.
Yeah.
Didn't get you, and then find out she got you.
Yeah.
I said that she should have named the baby after you if you would have committed that, but you're not ready for that. Your family, a big support system for you. Ellie, tell us about your family and how they do aid you along the way.
Yeah, my parents, they've been there the entire time. They've driven me to everywhere that we've played, all over the country. We've flown places, visits, everything like that. And then they come to pretty much every game that they can come to in college, too. They even came up to Lake State, so it's been really nice.
All right. When do you get your degree in nursing, and what do you want? Where do you want to go with it once you get it? Because you've got options. If you've got a nursing degree, you can go pretty much anywhere you want.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if I want to stay in Grand Rapids or not yet. But yeah, there's a lot of places we can go.
Is it 4 years? Or
yes.
Not more than that. Once you get that.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. All right. What do you do for fun away from basketball, away from class, away from nursing studies, just for your own pleasure? What do you do, Ellie?
Shop, for sure.
Honesty.
Way too much.
That is great.
Yeah.
Ellie, you're doing a great job. We love having you on the team. Keep that left-handed shot going. We need it. Okay?
Yep, I got you.
All right, we're going to take a break, come back, and talk some men's basketball here in the Davenport Coaches Show from Utellos in Caledonia. The Davenport Coaches Show from Uccellos and Caledonia rolls on there. That was a little slip of the tongue there, but tells you where I live. But in any case, we're talking men's basketball. Enjoyed visiting with Coach Shonda Sanders and Ellie Tony from the women's side. Now we're going over to the men's side. Assistant coach Mike McCleary joining us right now. His second season with the Panthers. And Coach, you had an outstanding playing career at Olivet College. You were a first-team All-American there, and all MIAA a number of years, and in the Hall of Fame for Olivet College. Tell us, what does that mean to you to be in your alma mater's Hall of Fame?
Very special honor. I was kind of surprised by it. I know the sports guy over there, Jeff, kind of surprised me with the team and told me that I was inducted. Had no expectations to get in when I was playing there. I just wanted to play to kind of compete and win and stuff like that, so it was kind of the cherry on top for the career.
When along the way did you get the coaching bug where you thought, this is something I think I'd like to try?
Ever since I was little, I know I coached my cousin when she was very little on a 3 team. And I'm like, this would probably be the greatest career to get into, just to deal with basketball all day and kind of help the younger kids kind of learning how to play the game the right way.
All right, you've got your wife, Denisha, your son, Brady, is here.
Yes.
Are they watching him over there? 'Cause I thought he was making up with a pizza when I saw him.
He was. He's over there eating right now. And then our daughter's over there as well, Kennedy, who is 2 months. So it's been kind of very busy at the McCleary household the past few months.
Yeah,
so.
you don't ask a coach with 2 small children, what are you doing in your spare time? I asked that of Ellie, and I'm going to ask you that because there is no spare time as well. Let's talk about this team, Mike. The one word that jumps out at you from, Coach Bird, Coach Dillon is inconsistent, because
yes.
we've seen that time and time again.
Yes, just very inconsistent, right? We're trying to figure it out. They're starting to figure it out that, if you play consistent, things will take care of itself. We just got to be able to put both halves together. We've had games where we've been phenomenal on offense and okay on defense, or we've been good on defense, but our offense has been shaky. We just kind of got to figure out how to put both of them together to get this thing going in the right direction.
And one of the things we've seen is been at home especially, which is kind of weird, is slow starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you guys have talked about that. What can you do to focus on a quick start when you don't want to get a slow start, but it seems to happen at home for some reason more than on the road? That's my observation.
I would just say have to peg it with probably just being what we've talked about, started this thing with, is consistency, kind of focused on like the smaller things, the details. I know when shots don't go in for us right out of the gate, we kind of try to bail ship quickly and instead of staying the course. So I believe if we just stay the course, even if we miss shots or have a couple blown assignments, we'll be 100% fine, and I feel like that'll get us off to a faster start in games.
And you are definitely improving. We've seen that with some wins over the last few weeks, and one of the reasons you brought Jaden Terrell and Jovan Tucker into the starting lineup, and they not only seem to add a spark, but they seem to play well with each other.
Yeah, for sure. I know when we kind of struggle with defense, they are kind of our 2 premier defenders, and we always tell them that they kind of drive the defense. It's like when they're on point, everybody else kind of follows suits and starts playing defense and stuff like that. And some nights it impacts our offense to get us off to a faster start, like you've mentioned earlier, that we need. So it's been a good adjustment putting them in the starting lineup.
All right, you brought Jaden with you tonight to Uccellos. We're going to get to him just a minute. Tell us about him and where you see where he could go, because Coach Burt says the sky's the limit for this guy.
It really is once he figures out how to play hard consistently. I feel like that always sets him back. He has all the tools to be arguably probably the best defender, one of the best defenders in the GLIAC, just with his length, athleticism, and stuff like that. And he continues to grow, and it seems like he wants to improve on his offensive game to kind of help out on that. But he also is starting to take commitment on that defensive end and realizing that he is kind of a defensive stopper and that we need him to play defense, kind of have the assignments of playing or guarding their best offensive player and stuff like that night in and night out.
Finally, Mike, Saginaw Valley tomorrow night in Saginaw. Fought 82-81 win at home against them. It was a weird game because it seemed like you had it in hand to 10, 12, 13-point lead for much of the second half. And then all of a sudden we blinked, and it was a 3-point game.
Yeah. I kind of almost feel, I know we don't want to bring up like past last season, but it kind of felt like the Wayne State game, but we were able to pull it out when we were over there at Wayne. We had the 16-point lead, but we just couldn't hang on to it. I think some of the players have kind of grown, learned that it's like, hey, we got to keep playing. We can't get relaxed. We just got to kind of grind this one out, even though things weren't going our way down the stretch, but we figured it out and had some good defensive stops to kind of pull it out there at the end.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow and Saturday at Wayne State, Mike. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with Jaden Terrell. We continue with the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccellos in Caledonia. And our final guest on the Davenport Coaches Show from Uccellos of Caledonia, a star-packed lineup tonight, is Jaden Terrell, a redshirt sophomore from Wheeling, Illinois, who's joined us and played well for Davenport, redshirted in his freshman year, and last year was his redshirt freshman year. Let's first talk about, Jaden, about that redshirt year. You played basketball your whole life, then all of a sudden you find out you're going to be practicing, but you're not going to be playing games. That had to be tough. Tell us how you got through that.
When it first happened, it happened at my first game. I thought I was gonna, play with the team and warm up. I was able to warm up with the team, but before the game, coach pulled me to a side and talked to me about redshirting and how redshirting is not like anything bad, and how other star players like Chris Rollins and Jay Rand have redshirted, and it only benefited them because it gives you a chance to see what you're going to get into and what the pace of the game is going to be like. So I took it not only as something, as like a downfall, but something as a benefit to me to see on how our team is going to play, how the system is played, and how Coach P wants us all to play and everything. So I took that as a good thing and only used it to benefit myself. And now it's a good thing not only for you, but for us, because we got you for 3 more years, this year and 2 more after it. Yes, sir.
That's got to feel pretty good, right?
Yep.
Tell us how you learned about Davenport originally, your first contact and how they reached out to you.
My first contact was with Coach Dylan, I believe, on Twitter, or Coach Robbie, but he's not here no more.
Right.
He texted me on Twitter, and he was letting me know he's talking to me and everything, as well as talking to other coaches and stuff. But it was obviously through the COVID year, so it was kind of a rough year and trying to figure out what I was going to do for college and everything. So I was talking to a lot of coaches and everything, but Coach Dill, wanted me and wanted it to be known that he wanted me to go there, and it showed that I wanted to go.
It was COVID year. Did you get to visit the campus at all before you committed?
I was able to visit the campus, yes.
What struck you as that you liked about that in your visit? What do you remember about that?
Going to the facilities and just seeing how small the campus is and everything close by, and as well saying like everybody around the school is basically an athlete. So I just like an environment like that. So
when you and Jovan has been getting started now for a few weeks, you guys seem to play especially well together. There seems to be a connection there. Is there?
I for sure think there's a connection there. We're always trying new things in practice. We're always talking to each other. I always talk to him to know that we have to be like the voice of the team. The star players for our defense to lead our team and everything.
I have to ask you this. We got to be fair journalism here, because you had a phenomenal consecutive career high scoring, 18 and 20 points. And 9.5 rebounds you average over the same career. And then, like most of the rest of the team, boom, just nothing last game.
Yeah.
How does the bottom fall out that quickly from one game?
Honestly, I would say it's preparedness and energy. I would say we started off the game, high energy, but you could say we got like kind of surprised, kind of like punched in the mouth, and and we weren't able to match it, let alone beat it, the energy. So it kind of just, and it goes back to preparedness, our shoot around. we always take pride in our shoot-arounds to know that if we do good, then we're going to have a good day starting off, knowing that we're locked in and focused for the game. But, if it's not really a good shoot-around and, it's not as focused, then we know it's, it can be a kind of a rough one, but we have to just, lock in and focus up.
That's a good analogy of the punch in the mouth there. Now you got to bounce back, and you got a chance to play a team that you can play well again. And we were talking with Coach Mike about it, how that was a strange game because for most of the second half, you had a double-digit lead, and then it's like I told him, suddenly it was a 4-point game.
Yep,
I never saw a game switch that quickly.
I know it's crazy, and it always goes back to energy. I feel like because energy carries out throughout the game, and if you don't have energy throughout the whole entire game, there's going to be ups and downs, there's going to be runs, and there's not going to be any. So that's why I energy throughout the whole game and just staying throughout the course.
You've got family back in Wheeling, Illinois still. Tell us about how they support you. And
they're my biggest supporters for sure. My mom, my dad, my sister, everybody that tries to attend my games, they're my biggest supporters. My family's always they always have a way to get to my games, even with my mom working a lot, but she always has the time to come down and come see me whenever we're home for sure. Even if it's close by like Parkside or Purdue Northwest, and if anything. So I know they're always going to be able to come, or I know I'm going to call them, or they'll call me before the game. So.
All right. Well, you're a marketing major. What would you like to do with that degree once your basketball days are done?
Hopefully get into either sales or digital marketing like my mom, But that, as of right now, not furthermore, but that's really what I want to get to.
All right, let's talk a little bit about, you mentioned a couple things that's got to happen, but you got 2 games on the road. In fact, you've got 6 of your last 8 on the road. Are you guys as players, preparing for that, or are you just looking to the next game as far because you're going to be road warriors for most of the rest of the season?
Mm-hmm. We have to be focused. We have to be focused, and it's hard to be on the road for the last few games of our season, but it just takes a bunch of focus and a bunch of energy and staying together, always staying the course. And that's a big thing that we always talked about throughout this whole season was staying the course and just putting together a full 40, full whatever, just being able to stay on track and keep moving forward.
We'll ask you one final. We asked Ellie this from the women's side, the same thing, is think back to your high school days, even before high school, middle school. Was there one coach that really was influential on you as a player, that they really got you thinking, hey, I can go somewhere with this?
Coach Tom Antos, my high school basketball coach.
Okay. How many years did you play for him?
I played for him for about 2 years because I went to varsity my junior year, and he was moved to head coach. And then I continued to do workouts with him in the summer up till now and everything. What makes him a special coach in your eyes? He's always seen something in me, and he's always seen something in other people. But for me especially, he's always had out his extra hand for me, and he always wants me to get better. He always sends me things about Twitter and everything, advice and better moves to do, and just always wants me to be on my A game and always wants me to be a better man. Well, Jaden, we're glad we've got you, and we're especially glad we've got you for 2 more years after this year. So keep up the good work. Let's have some good productivity this week. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. All right, great. Jaden Terrell, our special guest here. That'll wrap up our coaches show from Uccellos in Caledonia. So don't forget, we'll be back here next Wednesday. And we are other Wednesdays at 7 o'clock here. You can catch it on YouTube, Davenport YouTube channel later. Anytime you want, we'll have it there available for you. That'll wrap it up. Thanks to all of our special guests. So till next time, Rick Berkey saying thanks for listening, and go Panthers.